could do your intro.
No, oh, do you want to just continue talking? It's fine. I didn't know. I was just.
Yeah,
What's up, everybody? It is Rick Micheals from MTV's Wild Now and a whole bunch of other stuff because I'm successful now. But it's not about that. It's about eating while broke with my host over here, Colleen, and we're doing something real broke. I'm talking about broke. I'm talking about South Side of Chicago broke. We're doing Spam tacos. And a lot of people don't even know what Spam is. It's actually something that you can get at the 99-cent store. It's 99-cent store meat. And it's delicious.
I've actually never eaten Spam.
Well, welcome to the Spam Club.
So I didn't even know how to get it out of the can, everybody. So I'm really looking
for meat is a go-to because it stays. You can keep it in your bag. You can do a lot with it.
Is it real meat though?
It is real meat. Like. My ingredients are super simple because I come from a little diverse struggle. So don't let the little Da Vinci sweater fool you in a little chain. But you know, this is back in the day because you know Wild Now don't pay nothing. Nick pay us in Mariah Carey CDs and hats. And, you know that you work for Nick. So my ingredients are super simple. I got Spam right here, can of Spam. Look at that. That's enough meat for a week, and that only costs $1.99.
That'll last you a week.
It'll last you a week with the way I cook it.
Okay.
Unless you want to splurge and have guests, because, you know, maybe like 2 days. I got tomatoes, of course. Tomatoes are cheap. I use regular lettuce. We're not going to see no romaine, no mix. I'm talking about regular lettuce you can get for 89 cents a head. We got mixed cheese, which I normally don't do mixed cheese. I normally do like sometimes I just take the Cheetos and I just scrub the Cheetos cheese and put it in the thing and then eat the Cheetos later. That's how you have 2 meals in one. I'm not stupid. Cheese got protein. And then we got onions. Red diced onions. So it's going to be absolutely good. And all you need, of course, is your McCormick's or Lori's taco seasoning mix, which is only like 69 cents for.
Got it.
Then I got my water and a little oil for my pan and my little seasoning, my little ground pepper and stuff like that.
Oh, did you need oil for your pan?
I did, but it's okay. Spam is like bacon. It kind of makes its own grease. If you can see the gelatinous forming on it'll definitely cook.
You know what? If I was ever wondering based on like how you look today and how successful you are, I would never guess that you could creatively make or have eaten a dish like this. So it's really
Why would you say that?
Because look, you know, you're very successful. And
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah, you're very successful. And I think it's so important for people to see, you know, someone of your stature, someone that's accomplished so much, see that you legit ate like this. So go ahead, start us off with the how do we get this meal started? Okay.
And let's get this Spam all cut up. Let's get this cutting board over here.
Yes.
You know,
okay.
Normally, I wouldn't even have a knife when you're broke. You just literally just cut it up, and you can see that the meat actually lasts for a long time because you can see how blocky it is and how just it falls apart just like that.
Now, when it comes to Spam, do you have to cook it all once you open the can, or can you like aluminum foil some of it?
Actually, Spam can be eaten right out the can. A lot of people don't know that. It's already pre-cooked. It's already actually ready to go. All you got to do is, all we're really doing is warming it up a little bit because it's actually ready to go. I actually, on rush days, just eat it just like this. Probably warm it up in the microwave, and that's good to go.
A part of me wants to just try a little slither of it.
You think I'm joking?
I don't know why. No, we don't have any. I'm gonna try a piece of this, guys. Just for the team. Oh, sorry for doing it on your plate. Okay, interesting.
See, it's already go already. I know you like.
I don't know if it was cat food or what.
No,
I do. I'm not knocking Spam, by the way.
It's actually pre-cooked.
It's really salty.
Yes, it's definitely salty. That's why I was like, you don't really need oil, but you can use oil. It's definitely a little salty.
Yeah.
For me, because, you know, I just recently lost a lot of weight, so because I'm diabetic.
You look great.
Oh,
you look amazing.
Thank you, man. I was inspired.
After I lose this baby, you're going to get me in the gym.
Speaking of babies, that's what inspired my weight loss. I actually went to Six Flags with my daughter, and I was 330 pounds, and I was too fat to get on a roller coaster. And we went there, and it was actually my daughter's first time actually going to Six Flags, and she was so excited to ride the different roller coasters and different things like that. Yeah, so when we got to the roller coaster, they don't tell you, they don't have like a weight requirement, so they don't tell you that, you know, you're too big, so there's no way you'll know until you get on the roller coaster. So I'm sitting on the roller coaster, and they're trying to push the harness down, and they're pushing the harness down, they're like, sir, it has to close. And like 4 other little kids, and it's like roller coasters backed up, and it's hot, and everybody's looking like, why don't this fat ass dude know he is too big for this damn roller coaster? And so they're pushing it down, the management comes, and they don't call you a fat ass, they just look at you, and they give you that white face, and they go, sir, it has to close. And then right then and there, it was so embarrassing, I had to get off the thing, they had to let everybody else's harness up, and then my daughter rode the roller coaster by herself, and then my daughter's so resilient. Um, she was on the roller coaster, and I'm like, sweetie, did you have a good time? She was like, it was okay. We can go home now. And that's just showing how much my daughter actually loved me. And she actually was like, let's go home, because she was embarrassed for me. So God is so good. They have this thing at Six Flags where you go down these steps, and it's like this little thing where it's like a picture booth where they take pictures of you, and they show how much fun you're having. So when I look at the picture booth, my daughter's like, yeah! I was like, why'd you lie to me? You had fun. And she was like, Dad, I did. It's so much fun. It's everything I thought it would be. But you're such fat, and no one told you to eat Twinkies late at night. And I'm so embarrassed. So I spent the entire time at the amusement park just pretty much getting in the cotton candy line and stuff like that. So that inspired me so much. And I promised my daughter that at the before the season, then we go back. And that happened in June. And in August, I went back. I lost 67 pounds. And I got on every single roller coaster. And I just kept my journey going from there on.
That's amazing. So it sounds like you're an amazing dad. But let's talk about how you got your start.
I actually started doing comedy when I was a little kid around Chicago. So we used to have this thing called the Comedy Click. And we used to have this thing that Bernie Mac used to host called the Cotton Club. I was actually 13 years old when I first started doing comedy.
Wow.
And
where were your parents during this whole thing?
I'm
always curious.
I'm about to get into it.
All right.
My parents are still together. So they've been married for I want to say 43 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 43 years. And they've been cheating on each other for 42 years. So my dad's girlfriend is the actually person that got me into comedy. So yeah.
Are you joking or are you serious?
I'm telling you the truth. My dad's girlfriend, I had an auntie. I didn't
know.
Yo,
production behind camera is dying laughing.
I'm telling you the truth. This is the truth story. I didn't even know she wasn't my auntie. I didn't know that. My dad used to make me call his girlfriend auntie. I didn't know that wasn't my auntie.
But your parents were married.
Yeah, they still married. I didn't know that wasn't my auntie. I thought that was literally my auntie Jockey. I had no idea. Till one day I came home and I was like, Mama, look, Auntie Jockey had bought me a suit. And I was so happy. I came and I was like, Mama, look what Auntie Jockey bought me. She bought me a suit. My mom was like, that ain't your damn auntie. That's your daddy girlfriend. Now go outside. Your Uncle Craig gonna help you. Gonna take you to the zoo. So I had an Auntie Jockey and an Uncle Craig my whole life.
Yo, this
is a true story.
I have more questions though.
You can ask all the questions you want.
So was your mom, were they cool? Was this like an open marriage?
No, they would just, my mom would just do what my dad doing. Like, okay, nigga, that's what we doing. Let's go do it.
And they're married still.
They still together. Look, don't judge my parents. They still
I'm
together.
definitely no.
You don't go to our church. You don't know what they preach. No, they still together. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, it's very toxic now that you look at it coming on the outside going in. That's not how marriage is supposed to be. But
I didn't know if they were like best friends and they're just like sharing their trade secrets.
Oh no, there wasn't no Jada Pinkett, Will Smith, August Estina entanglements. This was straight up cheating. My mom was smart, cause if my dad would go out and come in at like 1 o'clock in the morning, my mom would come home at 12:15, act like she would sleep all day. So I was keeping both their secrets.
All right, now
it helps for a good allowance. I tell you that much.
Yeah, but wow, yo, no wonder you're a comedian.
No, but so she used to take me around to the comedy clubs, and because she was, freak with them, and she would take me around, and she would be like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then my mom found out I was going to comedy clubs to put a stop to it. So then once my mom put a stop to it, I stopped doing comedy altogether. I couldn't go out anymore because she was actually my connect for the whole thing. So once that stopped, I went and finished up high school and everything. And I remember because I was going back into it. Now that I'm out of high school, I just graduated. I got a job doing construction. And then my mom was like, I came home and my mom was like, you got to leave. She kicked me out. Literally, I'd just been working a week and she's like, you can't stay here because you're not going to college. And I was like, what? Well, at least let me get my paycheck so I can find a place to go or do something. She was like, no, all my stuff was sitting on the porch. And she was like, you got to go.
Oh, wow.
And
is your mom Jamaican?
My mom is from the South. My mom is the Popeyes lady. That's what my mom, she is from Shreveport away like, ooh, we got to get the hell out of my house. You can't stay here. Yeah. So then I ended up going to college, graduating because I have no other choice. So, and then after I got to college, I pursued my career fully. I met Dave Chappelle at a comedy club in Ohio, in Yellow Springs, Ohio, with Dayton, Ohio. And I saw him and he's like, if you ever want to find out if you're funny or not, go to New York. So I literally got off the Greyhound bus maybe like 2 weeks later after my friend Jermaine got locked up, and he said, this is what you're supposed to do. And I never looked back. I stayed on the streets of New York, homeless for about a year, eating out of trash cans and all that stuff. And the hard part was I had a daughter at the time. Well, I didn't know I had a daughter. My mama called me. She was like, some girl called here with a picture of a baby that looked just like yours. So I was like, that ain't my baby. She was like, well, the baby got your eyes. I was like, Mama, those ain't really my eyes. Those are the eyes of niggas that my baby mama liked. So it just happened to be similar. So it was such a weird thing meeting my daughter because she was already 2 years old and I met her.
But how old were you then?
I was 24.
Okay.
23 when I
So you're homeless in New York, you get this phone call, you're daddy.
I'm a daddy. Yes, I go home. I get on the Greyhound bus. I go home. I see this little girl and I'm like, she's, you know, because you don't know if it's yours, so you don't want to pick her up first, so you just like this. So I'm looking at her like this. I'm just examining her. But yeah, she's been my daughter, and I ended up getting full custody of my daughter. And like maybe 4 months later, I took her to New York, and she was like in the streets homeless with me. And I would go to different hotels and get her milk in the morning, and we would
You
shower
guys were like the
valleys.
pursuit of happiness.
I wouldn't call it that. It was just it's been my road dog ever since, man.
Yeah.
I think that you know, if I wouldn't have my daughter, my drive and determination for what I do wouldn't be as great because she is my other half. Like, and I raised her by myself entirely. So it's just been a struggle. I love her to death. Like, anytime I'm there, like I used to go to comedy clubs and have her sitting right there in a little car seat and in the car, and it's been a journey ever since. Everything I do.
Wow, that's amazing. So you were a single dad while pursuing your dreams.
Correct.
Was there a part of you that felt like you had to hold down a 9 to 5, or did you while you're pursuing your dreams and being a single dad?
Well, since I did get my degree in college. I mean, I got my degree in economics finance. I just needed to know because I had wanted to be a comedian my entire life. Since I was a little kid and I saw Def Comedy Jam, I just knew that this is what I was supposed to do. And I told God, if this is my gift, then allow me to be to prosper off of this. Yeah. Allow me, because making people laugh and being able to smile and bring them joy, because that's what I do with my comedy. My name is not actually Rip Micheals. A lot of people don't know that. It's actually Rip. If you look at it, it's RipMicheals. It's actually Rip Mike Heels. So that's actually how you say my name. But everybody's kept it Rip Michael, so I don't really correct people, but that's actually what it is. Because I like to heal my comedy, because most of my shows are urban, and people come to urban shows with a lot of different things and pressures, suspended licenses where they don't get an abortion, a whole bunch of stuff going on when you're at a black show. That's why they go so hard, or an ethnic show, to actually, if they don't like you, they boo, because they done a lot to get to that little show. They pay $10 to get in. So I love for 10 minutes, to no matter what's going on in your life, if I can take away some of that and make you forget or make you laugh at some of your pain, that's my whole job.
Yeah. Now, so you come to New York, you're a single dad, you're working, I'm guessing, a day job because you have a degree.
No, never once. Once I moved to New York, I never took a day job. I would do comedy on the streets. I would entertain on the train. We can put a little red onions and diced onions in here. Entertain on the train. I would sell Metro swipes, and they gave me the ability to be able to do comedy for anything. I would do comedy in somebody's basement. I did gospel comedy. And a lot of the comedians in New York, they have like this cliquish thing. So since I wasn't from there, they wouldn't allow you to get on stage. They would make you come week and week after week and never give you stage time. And I used to have to bark. So I got so good at barking, that means when you stand out with a flyer and you try to get people to come to the show. So I got so good at barking that I would fill entire rooms just off me going outside, speaking to people and getting them to buy tickets, to the point where I started doing my own rooms. And then my biggest break, I would say, was when I did a show, because I was so skinny, because I was eating dishes
so you
like
were
this.
Skinny then?
No, I was fat. I came to New York fat, but I was homeless, so the different dishes made me so skinny, because I didn't have anywhere. When I say I was homeless, I'm talking about not sleeping in the car homeless, not room to room. I'm talking about literally sleeping outside the Fit Institute and Bryant Park and stuff. And then thank God I had a Bally's membership from college. And I would just take, me and my daughter would go there and we would shower and everything there. And
what's your family saying while you're doing all this? Are they like questioning whether you're insane?
Well, for me, my mom and my dad have been like, well, my dad is kind of supportive, but not really. They have been my biggest catalyst for me to be a comedian, because they always told me I would never be anything. My mom always instilled with me that I wasn't attractive, I wasn't good, no one's ever going to laugh at your jokes, and whatever you do, you're going to fail and succeed at, and you're never going to succeed at it. So I use that energy to always live my life to prove my mother wrong.
And you guys get along fine now?
Yeah, because I forgive her. I mean, she, she comes around now. Because I think everybody, when a mother become a grandmother, that's not the same person that raised you. I'm going to tell you that right now. Is it just me?
I don't know yet. This is my first.
Oh, when your mother become a grandmother, trust me, that's not the same. My mama used to burn me with a cigarette. I can't even yell at my daughter from my mama. She's a totally different person.
Wow.
She thinks she's slick. She's trying to get into heaven. God seen what you did. You don't teach nobody how to read with a cigarette. But yeah, we're super cool now. Now when I do TV shows and stuff, she calls me from time to time, like, I'm very proud of you. You said you would do it and you did, regardless of how I made you feel. So, you know, that was a really defining moment when she apologized to me. And we've been cool ever since.
Yeah, wow. So when did you realize, like, you had arrived?
I still don't think I arrived. I think the entire time I've been doing comedy, because from that, my first television appearance was, big shout out to Christina Milian and her mom. They put me on a show. She had a show at the time called wannabes, and I was so skinny. I actually was the same size as Ja Rule,
Mm-hmm.
and that was my first appearance. And I was so funny on that. She allowed me to do warm up for her show and all the rest of her shows, and then she offered me a
So,
role.
you were warming up.
Yeah.
And then
After I did the show, I won the contest.
Mhm.
It was like a show where you get to become the artist. So 3 people compete to be an artist, and at the end, you get to make a music video if you're good enough to be the artist. And we did that, and then that turned actually into me being warm up, and then she put me in the movie Love Don't Cost a Thing, and that's why I met Nick. And I should have moved out here, but being a dad, I couldn't participate when Wild 'N Out first came out, so I couldn't do the things that most people could do because my whole career has been being a dad and making sure my daughter had everything she needed. So it's a lot of opportunities I had to pass up. So yeah.
Now, while you're in New York doing this, are you actually making money doing stand up?
So what I started doing instantaneously when I realized I was good as a bar, because I started producing my own shows, to the point where I ran New York, and I can confidently say I ran it. I had more rooms than any comedian in New York. So what I did was, because the clubs wouldn't put me on, I used that same negative energy as a catalyst. So what I would do was go around to like little bars and restaurants, and I would allow them to like, hey, let me do comedy here. You don't have to pay me. I'll bring an audience. I'll do the show.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So
but you would let them keep the money, or you would have
no,
a split?
like the bar and the liquor,
Yeah.
and I would just take off what I brung in.
Wow.
So I got so good at that. I would do comedy. I had 3 different rooms a night. So I started from comedians not putting me on to employing pretty much all the comedians in New York. I had the largest run in New York, so people would have to call me. And in a week, you would make $2,000 off me just because you would do every single room. It got to the point where I was doing so many rooms, I would bring up the feature and leave and go to another room and host that one and come back and close it out and go to another one. And then when my friend Rashid died, a great comedian, he played Uncle Dope on Bad Boys of Comedy, so funny. When he died, his family ended up asking me to host his rooms, because when he died, he was really good. He had like maybe, I want to say 5 rooms. And then when he passed away, they were trying to host it. And I remember one night I was there and they were like, everyone's bombing. No one's doing really well. If you can bring the crowd back and kill it, I'll give you an extra $100. So I did that. And then I did like a couple other times that happened. And next thing I know, I had his rooms on top of my rooms.
Wow.
So I ended up having like 21 rooms in a month to do comedy in New York. And I would take the proceeds of half the money I got and give it to his family. A lot of comedians don't know that, because they were like, well, rip it. So I was like, no, I make sure his family kept half the money. I used to take half of whatever I got and give it to his brother-in-law and his kids, because when he died, he left 3 kids.
Wow. And so now it makes sense to me, because when I see on stage talent like yourself, you're funny, you're charismatic, sometimes I'm always like, is the talent really the entrepreneur, the driving force? Now, I'm familiar and I've heard that you are the founder of the Wild 'N Out Tour. And that was like, what? Rip's the founder of the Wild 'N Out Tour, like creator of it. I'm like, that's like more of an entrepreneur, the skill set mixed with talent. So tell me, how'd you do that?
Again, I would give all my accomplishments to my daughter. Everything, I never tried to. I'm just now trying to be a star, or I'm just now trying to actually get my name out. So when you ask me the question, did I arrive? I've never put energy in that. My whole thought process being the funniest person I could possibly be. Continuing to have, if you ever watch any of my shows, I keep that crowd laughing and running and having a great time. That's the type of energy I've always brought to it. So the catalyst for me doing the Wild 'N Out Tour was I was working with Nick on his special Stand Up Don't Shoot, and we were going around opening up clubs. And I've written for a lot of comedians. I wrote Anthony Anderson's special. I wrote Brandon T. Jackson's special.
Did you write Nick's?
I wrote with Nick.
Oh, okay. I tried to get y'all. Go on. You wrote with Nick.
I wrote with Nick, because Nick always, Nick.
Which one? Because there's some of Nick's stand-ups that were very kind of where I was like, oh, okay, Nick.
The last one, Stand Up Don't Shoot.
Okay.
And I'm writing on his new talk show. He has a daytime talk show as well. So when we're doing this, we're actually, funny story, because it actually happened in Los Angeles. We're in Los Angeles and we just leave the Ontario Improv. And we're sitting at the Ontario Improv and we go, he's like, I'm going to go and see Cat. Do you want to go? So I hop in the car with Nick and he goes and he's watching Cat. And Nick is standing there with like a look on his face. I'm like, Nick, what are you, like, like someone's watching like Michael Jordan play. Yeah. And then Nick goes, I'm like, yo, I always wish I could sell out arenas. Yeah. And I go, what? I was like, you Nick Cannon. You put Cat Williams on. Of course you could sell out arenas. He's like, nah, man, I've never been able to do that. He's like, that's one of my dreams, to be able to do that. And I was like, Nick, you put me on your show, and you've done so much for me and changed my life. You kept me on it. When I tell you Nick keeps me on the show, because I do some wild stuff, from pulling wigs off, throwing powder. Every day I'm almost fired. I remember when I first threw powder, the whole cast was like, fire him. And Nick was like, that's the best thing ever, because I always looked at Wild 'N Out as being a character, and I always wanted to be the wildest character, because that's who I am, like the wild guy that you never know what's going to do. Mr. Did I go too far? And so when he said that, I was like, Nick, I turned to Nick and I go, I'll do that for you. Because I'd already had a following. I'd already been doing my April Fool's Comedy Jam, selling out arenas across the country on my own. So then I was like, I'll do that for you. So I took the Wild 'N Out tour, and it's funny because Nick was like, well, how are we going to do this? How is it going to go? And everything like this. And so he thought I was joking. So I was like, give me 6 months, and we'll be doing nothing but arenas. And so I'll go ahead and book this little small show to get it off his foot. And it was one of the hardest things I ever promoted, because people didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was a comedy show. People were just like, it comes on TV. It's going to be with tables with it. I don't want a ticket for this.
I was 100% confused how you guys were going to do it.
Yeah, so everybody, when I used to promote it, it was so hard to promote because I couldn't get the concept of people wanting to buy a ticket to see it. So then I structured it where I was like, I'm going to put artists on it. I'm going to do this. So I took it to this place called Amazura in New York. It was a small little 1,500-seater place. And I tried it out there. And I remember going to Nick and said, man, give me a date. And you know Nick. He was like, yeah, whatever, sure. And so then we're in the hotel. It was like, Nick, we have a show in 3 weeks. And he's like, what? In 3 weeks, I'm in Chicago. I was like, you told me we could do the Wild 'N Out thing. And you know, Nick, of course, why would he believe that I will start doing dates? And so then I was like, no.
He did it, right?
No, Nick was like, listen, Rip, I'm making X amount of dollars in Chicago. And I was like, look, whatever you're making in Chicago, I promise you as a man, I will give you that. Because you gave me the date. And Nick goes,
what?
Nick goes, okay, are you serious? And I was like, yes, whatever it is, I promise you will not leave. You will not walk in the building without all your money. And so Nick goes, and you know Nick gives you that face, was like, all right, like, this is your chance. You can either make yourself or kill yourself.
But now, did you know you were going to be able to do that for sure?
I had no doubt. It was hard at first.
But you didn't have the money yet.
No, so what I did because I had to pay for the venue. I took all the money, maxed out on my credit card. So what I did was...
You personally financed this thing? Okay.
And I got with my friend Compton. We used to do little shows together. And so we took all our credit cards and maxed them all out. And every time I would sell one ticket, I would just run up on Nick. Here's $10. Here's $10,000. Here's another $5,000. So every time I would see Nick, I would be putting money in his hand. He'd be like, what? And then it got to the point where not only did I do one show that night, I did 2 shows. And then I did another show in Long Island. And we ended up doing 3 shows in 2 days and to a sold-out crowd. And then I remember his agents from ICM was there, and they were like, these people don't matter. And I was like, what do you mean they don't matter? It was ICM that said, these people don't matter. I was like, it's in the hood.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that it's in the hood. And I was like, but it's hard-working people paying money to see the show.
Yeah.
He's like, no, this is in a real arena. So once he said that to me, it made me go, okay, cool.
And I have one question. While all this is going on, you're taking all the risks. Are you breaking even, or are you making actual dollars, Nick?
In the beginning, I was just paying people. In the beginning, I was just paying people to get it on. And then Nick says, I'm saying, we're going to do it too. Because they said that, it fueled me to go. And I booked like 15 or 20 arenas. And it was hard to get arenas because it was like, you don't have arena, you're doing this tour. We never heard of it. And so then I go to Nick and I fly to Nick. And I was like, man, we're going to do an arena tour here. It's all the money that you require up front to do an arena tour for every single date. And Nick didn't believe me. So he's sitting in the back of the thing. He's counting the money. He's like, you're really serious? And he goes, so what do I have to do? I was like, just give me a drop for every city and just host it. That's it. So
you're so dope. I'm just blown away.
Yeah, and we know what it is. It's Nick's, and working with Nick, it's that Nick always allowed me to have the ability to trust in me and fail or succeed on my own. So he gave me that opportunity to prove myself or disprove myself. And the support behind it, because, he got so flack. MTV was like, you got a tour we don't know nothing about. And when I tell you I was selling out every single arena, I still, in that year, hold the #2 on Polestar, which is like Billboard of promoters and ticket sellers. We were #2 in the country, right behind Janet Jackson that year. I sold out every single arena. And then I broke another record in D.C. by selling out 2 arenas in one night in the same city.
Yeah.
So we did 12,000 in Show Palace, and then we came to do Capital One Arena, and we did 17,500, and I promoted that in 30 days.
That's amazing.
And then Nick shook my hand. He was like, you did it. You did exactly what you said. And he gave me this look, and I was like, I felt like I repaid you for the opportunity to take care of my daughter, because being on Wild 'N Out changed my entire life. And I felt like that. Thank you. Like the camaraderie with each other. And then when we actually sold out the Staples Center, the actual producers of the Wild 'N Out, like Niall Evans and everyone, they were like, we never thought something we created would sell out in LA. You sold out the Staples Center.
Yeah. I remember hearing about it.
And they were like, how no one sells out in LA. And we started this thing and you helped us sell out. You sold it out in LA. I was like, yeah. Thank you guys for making me a part of this.
Yeah.
This thing. Because to me, Wild 'N Out was bigger than being on SNL. It was like the Def Comedy Jam thing. So
And
Nick is all about cultivating talent, and I love the fact that he gave me the opportunity and trusted me and believe me. When he shook my hand and he allowed me to do that and he actually showed up at that date, it was everything.
yeah.
And we've been rocking and rolling ever since.
By the way, we got to do, maybe I'll come out to your restaurant. We got to do a follow-up on you. Just, you know.
Well, awesome. You see my restaurant on my show, Urban Eats and Treats. I got my own little show on NBC. Big shout out to NBC, Peacock, and so many different things where, you know, I get to do the same thing. I pay back all my friends. Like I put all the people I've worked with over the years and helped, like Jacquees and Cardi B and so many different people that I've inspired and helped over the years. Like I've known Cardi since she was just the dancer and the clubs I used to host. And to see her do her thing and, you know, I remember when I used to try to get Cardi on Wild 'N Out, they were like, no, we don't like her brand. We don't like her image.
Oh, I love
her. And
her.
she blew up. And they were like, can you get Cardi? I was like, oh, she said no. And you got to understand how hard it was for me to get on Wild 'N Out. I did warm-up for Wild 'N Out for 3 years. 3 years, killing the warm-up to the point where they would turn the cameras and they would bank my audience applause and laughter and put it on the television show because I would do warm-up so strong. And because I would always use that as an audition tape to me to let them know how funny I was. And I did all that just to get an audition. So it was a big deal to actually finally get on the show. It was amazing, and it's changed my entire life. Like from
and you worked 3 years for that.
Yeah, 3 years of warm-up.
So what advice do you give to someone that's coming up, knowing everything that you've done to get to where you're at?
I would honestly say God has been my biggest thing because everybody around me was so, you know, negative, and then he sent me his angels. So he sent me his angels to say that, you know, you could do this. Don't listen to this noise. Don't listen to your parents. Don't listen to all this noise. Don't listen to the noise. Go get a job. Don't listen to a noise. You need a plan B. Don't listen to the noise. Well, you got to go to college because what if it fails? There is no plan B if there's only a plan A.
Yeah.
And you don't fail until you quit.
Yeah.
So whatever your level of success is, don't determine it by someone else's because your story is going to be your story. Yeah. It's not, I can't have the Kevin Hart story. I don't have the Nick Cannon story. I don't have the Brandon T. Jackson story. I didn't step on stage when I'm 16 and someone says, let's put him in every single movie. Yeah. So I would tell people to stay resilient, and there's so many ways to do it. So every no I got, I turned into a yes. Okay, you're not great at doing satire. So I went to Barnes & Nobles, and I stayed every day in there reading every single book that was ever written on comedy, how to write comedy scripts, how to write comedy writing secrets, and know how to put jokes together and write double entendres, reverses, and play on words, and do every single form of comedy. So I can walk into a church and do comedy. I could do a golf tournament. I did the Governor's Ball in New York. So I could, there's nothing.
There's actual books on that stuff?
Yeah, of course. I mean, a lot of people don't look at comedy that you don't have to go and learn about it. But I think that's probably the only field people jump into like, oh, I'm silly. But if you actually do the research, you'll find there's so much into it. Then I started reading all these other books at Barnes & Nobles about being an entrepreneur and what it takes, and reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and understanding that, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs sell the same drive and determination, and finding out how to do those things and applying yourself. Because there is no such thing as no except for your mind. As long as you believe in God, there's no such thing as no. There's nothing you cannot do. Yeah. You only limited by who you are.
Wow. Wow. We haven't even eaten. You got to feed us.
I'm feeding you. I'm just warming up the things. Yeah. And we're going to slice up these tomatoes and we're going to get this going.
Yeah, you could just
I normally
do
have some type of salsa, but it's, you know, without no sauce, it's going to be a little dry.
It's okay. You know, this is eating while broke, for real. So, what are you working on?
I just got my own show on NBC, big shout out to NBC, called Urban Eats and Treats, where I go around showing there's great stuff to eat in urban neighborhoods. I feel like, you know, with the whole Black Lives Matter, a lot of people don't understand in minority neighborhoods, we have great stuff to eat. We have insanely good dishes. There's fusion. There's so much going on. So a lot of my guests, like Nick Cannon was on, Russell Peters, Tamar Braxton, Shaq, they take us to these restaurants that they used to eat at, that they still eat at to this day, that are great. And you see these great chefs, and as a restaurant owner myself, it's great to be able to shed light on all these minority-owned businesses. Yeah. It's not a black thing, it's just minority-owned. Like a lot of times people go black, and it's no, we're minorities. Yeah. And I think when you think like minorities, it opens up for everyone. Yeah. And I think sometimes when people say black, 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 you're excluding people. So now they have to feel like they have to start their own thing. But if we think as minorities together, then we become the majority. Yeah. And that's just my whole thought process. And great Indian food, great Mexican restaurants. They got this Israeli taco place where it's like Israeli food mixed with Mexican, and it's great dishes.
So you go around on the show and you try the dishes, or?
Yeah, we go into these restaurants. So if you could think of diners, drives, and dives mixed with comedians and cars, because we have these interviews and they go in depth about how they started doing everything. It's just great. And then they're jokes. And the funny thing is, all these rich people leave me with the bill at the end of the episode. They leave me with the bill at the end of the episode.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, which is hilarious because I'm sitting here with Tone Bell and I'm like, these dudes are rich, and Gina, y'all sharing, and they're leaving me with.
I would think that the restaurants would like let you eat kind of for free, no?
No, and that's I would never want to take
Yeah.
advantage because I know they can, of course, and I want them to showcase. And the food is good, and
I
I'm
love
always
how
about.
humble you are, yo.
I'm always
It's
about
amazing.
paying for things
Yeah.
and letting people know that I support them. I
Yeah.
think that sometimes when you get to a certain level, that people think, oh, you're supposed to get everything free because I'm such and such and such and such.
Yeah.
And I know what that's like, so I don't ever want to be that person. For me personally.
And then now, did you created the show? So did you shop it to get NBC? I feel like you did everything to get it on the ground.
Big shout out to Kevin. That's actually Kevin Hart and Jeff Flanagan.
Uh-huh.
When I was actually doing the tour, and my agent, they were like, Jeff knows me from the Shaq All-Star thing, and when he saw it, he was always trying to pick some kind of thing to work on. When Kevin saw it, he just automatically gravitated toward it. So then Kevin was like, Rip, we're gonna definitely do something with this.
Yeah.
And so big shout out to him because he's the one that did the whole thing and processed the deal. And I woke up one day and he was like, here you go, Rip. And I was like, look at God.
Wow.
Look at God. And that was right after, the whole COVID thing
Yeah.
and the tour getting canceled. So I got 2 other projects that I'm doing currently. And I turned my restaurant into, I've noticed that during COVID, it wasn't a lot of opportunities for comics and singers. So what I did is I turned my restaurant actually into a full service performance space.
Uh-huh.
So now I can have more artists perform. So I took
Yeah.
the dance floor out as much, and now it's a performance space. So now poets and everything can showcase their thing, and I can give them fair deals.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't understand that when we do these comedy clubs, we don't get fair deals. We get 70% of a door. We get no bar. We get no food. We
Yeah.
get nothing. So we walk away with a $30,000 weekend, but you're not realizing the comedy club made $150.
Yeah.
So it's not even a fair thing. So
Yeah.
when artists come, I actually give them a fair shake. I give them a portion of the bar. I give them a portion
Wow.
I give them the entire door. So it's just
Wow.
the opportunities that that we need to start having for each other. Oops, sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm just impressed that you just totally freestyled salsa in front of me. I didn't even know you could do this. I'm promise you I'm learning how to cook because of eating while broke.
That go right here. So what we're gonna do?
Okay.
Take a little bit of your Spam.
Awesome. Spam and onions.
Yes, a little caramelized onions. There we
Mhm.
go. Put a little
All
more
right.
couple pieces in there.
Perfect. Awesome.
Let's try to line it up like a little fancy restaurant.
Mhm. Yeah, that's good.
Then I like to me personally, I like the cheese to kind of be on top. But these, again, it's your
Oh yeah,
preference.
because it's like it
It
melts,
a little
right?
bit. Yeah. A lot of people like the cheese on top to give you that cold effect, but I actually like my cheese right on top of my meat. I'm a
Okay.
little weird like that, but
Can I put the cheese
Yes,
on
go
it?
ahead. Put your cheese
Okay.
put your cheese on top.
Mhm.
I like to have the balance of cold, hot, cold, hot. Please. I'll
love
never
how
tell
you
a
want-
strong woman, no, please put my cheese on.
I promise you, we're gonna be like best friends after this. So he totally freestyled the salsa, everyone. I want to get some overhead cam on mine. Look at that. Look at that. So this is a Spam taco.
A Spam taco. A taco that actually costs probably about 90 cents. And I think
Yeah.
the most expensive part of the taco is the bread.
Yeah, and you could get quite a bit of tacos out of this.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
I love it.
And you get all the ingredients pretty much at your local Dollar Tree or Family Dollar because now they serve milk and meat and everything like that. Can I turn these off?
Yes,
I
you
don't feel like I
did.
did. Okay, cool.
Now let's eat. Let's try it. Let's see. Let's see what we're working with. Okay.
Now it's going to be a little dry because I don't have my own salsa, but it's,
Look
no
at
sour
you,
cream.
like a real chef over here apologizing. Let's see, everybody. You gonna take a
I'm
bite
going
too?
after you. You come, chef guy always
on.
watch first.
Okay. Good.
Oh, thank you. Again, I don't have all my fixings.
I
Like
didn't get the
need.
Spam. I gotta get another bite. Good. You know what? That salsa, it's not even dry. You were all worried.
Yeah, I was a little worried.
It's not. It's actually really good.
Well, thank you. And you helped me cook it because you put the cheese on it. We made it together. It's an us
You
thing.
know, it was a us thing, but you did your thing.
Well, thank you very much.
I like how everyone definitely want to make sure you add the salsa bit that you did in the end, because I could see where it could have went
I
dry.
just need a
But
little bit more peppers. If I'd have some jalapeno peppers to chop up in it, make it more pico de gallo, you'd enjoy the taste. It'd be a little bit more spicy,
this tastes great.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
great.
Oh, we're missing some peppers and a little more stuff, but
For
on a
eating
budget.
while broke, check out the book, check out the recipe. You'll definitely survive while pursuing your
Again,
dreams.
this is only 90 cents.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming out, feeding me.
And the baby.
And the baby. And the baby. I really enjoyed your time today, and I can't wait to link back up with you.
Same here. I'm very proud of everything you're doing, and I know your daughter's inside like proud, jumping up for joy. So,
Thank you.
Yes, and
I
she's gonna be
appreciate
just as beautiful as you, so that's gonna be amazing.
Thank you so much. Well,
I'm not hitting on her because it's the Me Too movement. I was honestly giving her a compliment.
I feel like every guy's afraid now.
Yeah, be like, you give a little bit.
So thank you guys for listening. Check us out on the iHeartRadio app.